You're listening to Thursday Night AMP on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Maybe you should start with Maxine quitting WWE.
First of all, when I seen you wrote that on Facebook, I thought you were joking. I was like, please, somebody tell me Stevie J is pulling the April Fool's here, but then I realized it's not April. This is probably the dumbest, most, WWE, you are pretty much up Schitt's Creek with your women's division, but the fact that you let one of the girls that has come in recently, wrestling-wise and on the mic-wise, is probably one of the best out of that whole fucking division, because you don't give the ones that are good, like Beth Phoenix and Natalya Neidhart, the push. Maxine stood out from the rest of the pack, and the fact that you rather have her wasted to the point where she gets frustrated because she's sitting around wondering, okay, what am I doing here? They keep putting me on NXT with people that, she's surpassed and been surpassed for the longest time. Since her first night there, she's been surpassed all of them. You keep putting her there, and then one week you'll throw her on SmackDown and Superstars or Raw. Then you throw her back on NXT. So she's getting in her mind, well, they're not really telling me what am I doing. I'm just another one of these girls that's walking around. Like a few years ago, we had Gail Kim and a couple other girls just walking around not doing anything. So what happens? She gets frustrated, and being the woman that she is, no nonsense and not going to take any bullshit from anybody. And that's the type of person she is. The person that she portrays on TV, that's Maxine. That's Carly Perez, 100%. So when she gets frustrated, she goes, I'm done. She quits. And
Well,
that is,
no,
but it's just
I'm sorry to interrupt, C, but I do see two sides to the coin. On one hand, I totally agree with you that her talent level was far in excess of the way that she was being used. They were not taking advantage of the opportunities they had to use her. But on the other hand, doesn't she have some sort of obligation to wait it out and wait till the iron strikes and the time is right and they're hot for her because all the other divas are injured or unavailable? By quitting, she blows that chance to strike when iron's hot.
Well, see, the thing is, I get what you're saying, and I totally agree, but how can you actually sit around and wait for the iron to strike and when it's hot, when you've had these situations of recently with Gail Kim, Jillian Hall, and, you've had these recent cases of where they just had these girls just walk around not doing anything. And, Maxine, she's been in FCW for the past couple of years. She's seen this going down in FCW where they hire all these girls and they don't do anything with them. They bring them up to the roster and they still don't do nothing with them. And I guess she figured, well, no one's really giving me the chance, which they aren't. I'm going to sit here and let them pull my string, like a little puppet because I want to make a couple extra dollars like a Gail Kim. There comes a time where you got to say, okay, enough is enough.
All right. Well, joining us on the open mic night on Thursday Night AMP is Lucky Jones from the Angry Marks chat. Lucky, how are you this evening?
I'm doing good.
Well, good. We're glad you're joining us. And what's on your mind? What do you want to say while you got the mic?
All right. Well, first of all, thank you for this time, Land of Angry Marks. Been listening to the show for the last couple of months. And the first thing I want to say is, the hell's all this fucking hate for John Cena? I don't get it. I hear a lot of fans out here say, oh, well, he's not the champion, but he's been main event the last couple of pay-per-views. Duh. He's a fucking face of the company. Of course he's going to main event. Hulk Hogan didn't have the belt, and he main evented. Stone Cold Steve Austin didn't have the belt. He main evented pay-per-views. So did The Rock. He main evented pay-per-views without the belt. If you're the top guy in the company, of course they're going to put you on the main event because you're the top fucking guy. I don't understand this whole hate. I personally think it's because he ain't out there with his fucking throwbacks on and his chains and telling people to choke on his nuts anymore. If he was out there doing that like he did with the whole thing with The Rock at WrestleMania, people would love this guy again. It's not his fault, folks. WWE is a PG show now. He's a face of the company. He's a yes man. He's a corporate guy. If I was a corporate guy and they say, hey, look, This is the direction of the company, and we need you to tone it down a bit. If I want to keep making money and feed my fucking family, I'm going to go out there and say, okay, fudging then. Instead of saying, fuck it.
Well,
I just don't get it.
I think you've got a good point, and I don't want to disagree with your point too much because I've actually turned the corner on Cena in the last few weeks, but I will say I think the objection people have, and I'm going to speak generally here because at the present time this is not my specific objection, so I'm really playing devil's advocate when I say this, but I think what people object to is that the world champion should be the most important person in the company, and if they're not, then why are they the world champion?
But you don't need to be champion to be the top guy in the company. I mean, look at it this way, right?
You're saying the world champion is not relevant. It doesn't matter whether you're world champion or not. You're not the top guy.
No, look at Hogan. Hogan was not. There was times when Hogan was not world champion, and he was still the top guy of the company. It depends on how big you are in the eyes of the fans. There's been, like I said, there's been times where look when Warrior was champion. All that time. Nobody, as much as I like the Warrior, Hogan was still the top guy in that company. You see what I'm saying? Oh, the Warrior didn't win the Warrior didn't win the Royal Rumble that year. Hogan did.
If you want a topic to rant about, we'll give you a chance to shoot on our topic that we chose for tonight, which is Raw equals Nitro. What are your thoughts after watching Raw this week? Is Raw Nitro now?
I will tell you exactly what I think, because I've been talking about this since I heard that the WWE main event is coming. Okay, this is what's going to happen. Raw and SmackDown are going to become the mid-Carter shows. NXT and Superstars are going to be the jobber shows, and we're going to take all the people who actually have a success and a name that we all know and love, probably not Sin Cara. For all you Sin Cara fans, I am not one. He botches way too much for me. And they're going to put them on Superstars, where they're going to do crap. I mean, I don't know what the point is. Like, they've got such an extensive roster. I mean, an extensive roster. You know, half the divas you don't even see most of the time. The most divas I've seen recently are Natalya, Beth Phoenix, AJ, Layla. Just, you know, they're not pushing everybody. They need to. There are people in there who deserve the screen time. Like Kev says, we don't want Sin Cara. At least I don't. I know how Kev feels. I don't want Sin Cara. He doesn't know the American style. Now, Alberto Del Rio knows the American style. He goes in there. He does it. Rey Mysterio knows the American style, but he does have that kind of Mexican in there, too. Like, he does the Lucha Libre type in there. But Raw is slowly going to the Nitro, and it's like, this is crap. I'm turning more to TNA.
You're listening to Thursday Night AMP on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.